Hello, I'm Peter Towers, Managing Director of ESS BIZTOOLS. Welcome to this update on ongoing developments occurring for small and medium-sized enterprises and the accountancy firms in Australia. Keep Australia running was the plea that Prime Minister Scott Morrison made last week when he was talking about the ongoing activities because of the coronavirus. Mr. Morrison called this a 1 in 100-year event and also indicated it was the biggest disaster to confront Australia since the end of World War I. Keep Australia running could well have been a plea from the Prime Minister to the Australian accounting and business advisory industry, because small businesses and many medium-sized enterprises need assistance from an accountant supplying them services beyond compliance if they are going to navigate the minefield that's been presented to them through this double whammy of coronavirus. Australian farmers and small businesses and medium-sized enterprises had already suffered through drought, bushfires, floods, and cyclones. And then we have this worldwide event that is affecting life in business activities all around the globe, coronavirus that's affecting us. Your clients are going to need assistance in a whole range of activities if they are going to survive. On the 17th of March, Peter Strong, the CEO of Small Business Organisations of Australia, indicated that in his organisation's opinion, there could be up to 10% of the workforce engaged by small business and medium-sized enterprises lose their jobs as part of this upheaval. Strong indicated that there were 5 million people working for small businesses and medium-sized enterprises in Australia. So his prediction is 500,000 could lose their jobs. Hopefully, a significant number of those people will be re-engaged. But he also indicated that thousands of businesses will shut during this period because many of them will be unable to operate because of the tourism industry, the airline industry, the major sporting events all been cancelled. And his organisation believes that 120,000 of those businesses will not restart at the end of this crisis. I think it beholds all accountants and business advisors to do our utmost to reduce those horrific figures so that businesses can survive. And what you can offer, of course, is your accounting skills, your business knowledge skills to assist these clients to survive. The federal, state and territory governments have announced a series of loans, grants, incentives and deferments to assist small businesses and medium-sized enterprises and others. But those clients, or most of them, will need your assistance to complete the application forms. Many of them will have to submit some financial data. That all needs to be prepared and lodged with the appropriate government departments as soon as possible. Because the quicker it is lodged, the quicker your clients will receive the cash flow benefit of whatever that particular loan, grant, deferment, or incentive is about. But that's not the end of the process. In fact, I think it's just the very start. Because if your clients are going to survive this period, which the Prime Minister says will be for at least 6 months, they will need to get their financial house in order. They need a financial health check. And the first activity that we recommend is that a benchmarking comparison is prepared, comparing your client's business to the benchmark information contained in the benchmarking report. So you can see how your client compares to their peers in their industry. And then have conversations with your client and their management team to ensure that wherever possible, further research is going to be undertaken and activities changed so that your client can get as close as possible to the benchmark. And if they're performing better than the benchmark, congratulate them and then encourage them to keep on being better than the benchmark. The next part of the activity is to start reviewing a whole range of matters. The cost to operate in this business, how does it compare? What savings could they obtain? What's their labour productivity figure, especially compared to those benchmark reports? What improvements could be made? What shrinkage and wastage does this business have? That could be a significant amount of money. Needs to be pointed out to management in financial reports and analysis what the cost is for things like shrinkage. According to the Australian retail industry, shrinkage in the retail industry is over $7 billion per annum. You wouldn't need to get too many percentage points of that saved to be a real hero for your client. You could then move into the cash flow analysis. What is happening in the cash flow in this client's business? And that will involve a review of debtors days outstanding, what levels it at. Australia still has an extremely high debtors days outstanding as compared to the rest of the world. 4 years ago, an international report identified that Australia had the highest debtors days outstanding in the world at that time, and that was 56.4 days. A recent review of Australian debtors days outstanding identified that the current debtors days outstanding figure is 56 days. In 4 years, it's improved 0.4 of a day. We probably still have the highest debtors days outstanding in the world. It's a real problem. Some of the problem can be attributed back to businesses in many cases. They're slow on getting their invoices prepared. They don't submit all the information that the customer told them that they required if they were going to make payments. They send invoices in after the cutoff date for a month's processing. If they're still issuing statements, they don't issue statements under 22, 23 days after the end of the month. No wonder payments are delayed. What about inventory? Analyze the stock turn rate, compare it to the targets, examine the list of the inventory. Is there old or dilapidated stock? Could they have a fire sale and get rid of all this old stock that's also eating its head off in warehousing costs? Interest costs for most businesses are not as high as what they used to be, but it's still costing money. And there's probably also costing labor to move it around and keep it under control. And it's probably deteriorating more because it's not a favored stock. Suggest to your client that they get rid of it. Work in progress. If they are a business that has work in progress, are they mindful of the need to ensure that prompt, regular invoices are being raised so that the cash investment in work in progress is being reduced to the lowest possible figure? And that will then give figures that can be incorporated within the overall cash flow forecast. And perhaps they could be the basis for a discussion with the business's bank, or even giving some consideration to whether capital raising is an option for this business. Does the business have any assets that are hardly ever used that they could liquidate, get some cash into the business, and then hire that asset when they need to use it? I've seen some very strange investment decisions over the years where people have bought an asset they're only going to use 2 or 3 days a year, and someone down the road has got one that they could have hired. Doesn't make sense, especially when that asset has cost a couple of $100,000. What about the suppliers? Is the client talking to the suppliers to see where they are in the order queue so that the suppliers can come through? And perhaps it's an opportunity for some proper research to be done on trying to identify some alternatives to the supply chain that your client has, because a lot of businesses have been caught out through the supply chain being centered on one country alone. Is the marketing expenditure targeted at the prospects that your client is trying to secure? And then you have the financial accounts prepared, and there should be key performance indicators prepared for them that then can be analyzed by management or whoever is responsible for that individual department accounts performance. And perhaps that opens up the opportunity for you to conduct some team training courses on the interpretation of key performance indicators and departmentalized financial accounts. This is phase one of the process as we see it, to get a clear understanding of what the financial data is telling this business. You can see more by visiting our website, www.essbiztools.com.au/survival in difficult times/learn more. If you have any questions, you can send me an email, peter@essbiztools.com.au. I look forward to hearing from you in the near future. Have a good day. Goodbye.